Does Mike Zimmer deserve a contract extension? Let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, my personal stipulation, I said this ever since this past summer, that in order for Zim to be head coach in 2020, he has to win a playoff game this year. And he did that. And when it comes to Zim, fuck the Minneapolis Miracle. This past Sunday's win against the Saints on the road at the Superdome, that was the signature win for Mike Zimmer in his coaching career, 100%, because Mike Zimmer totally outcoached Sean Payton on the road. He shut down everybody on the Saints roster not named Taysom Hill. And both the Vikings and the Saints, they both have a sexy roster, but the difference for the Vikings to win that game was quality coaching. So I have to be fair. Clearly, Mike Zimmer is the head coach in 2020. In fact, I wouldn't even be opposed to an additional one-year extension through 2021 to basically emulate what you did this year. We don't want Mike Zimmer going into 2020 as a lame duck head coach in the final year of his contract, so let's give him an additional year. I'm good with that. Now, some of the feedback, some of the comments that I've seen these past couple of days from some of the followers, well, to hell with that. Mike Zimmer deserves a full-on contract extension, and to that I say I'm not quite there yet. Now, to be clear, this is not one of those let's shit on Mike Zimmer videos. That's not what this is about. I still feel that Mike Zimmer has a lot to work on as a head coach. What he did on Sunday, beautiful, fantastic. At the same time, that type of performance that we saw on Sunday has been something that we've been looking for as Vikings fans from a Mike Zimmer-led Vikings team for quite some time. The Minnesota Vikings, they have the roster to go toe-to-toe with anybody in the league. And when you consider 2016, the Colts game, 2017, the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, 38-7. 2018, you laid an egg at home week 17 against the Bears, in which you let the Eagles, they made the playoffs instead of you. Week 16 this year, you laid an egg up against the Green Bay Packers at home, in which playoff seeding implications were still on the line. You got swept by first-year head coach last year, Matt Nagy, and this year you got swept by first-year head coach Matt LaFleur. You went 2-4 in the division this year, so you cannot tell me that all of that leading up to Sunday's win was all part of the master plan, because it wasn't. Now, beating New Orleans, that was great. There was speculation around your job. No one outside of the Vikings fan base believed in you. You were an 8-point underdog. In a let's prove everyone wrong game, you were victorious. But that just can't be it. I hope the team isn't just riding that emotional high wave and being content and treating that game like it's the Super Bowl. We did all we needed to do, because you still have a game to go on Saturday. So if you lose to the Niners on Saturday, but it's a competitive game, okay, fine. I'm not going to eat Mike Zimmer's lunch for that. But if you get dashed to where you don't look like you're competitive on the field, then those same questions, those same conversations are going to be had. Can Mike Zimmer's Minnesota Vikings show up in a big game against a legit opponent when people from the outside actually do believe in Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings? Now, conversely, I will say this, and I posted this a couple of nights ago on Twitter. If the Vikings beat the Niners on Saturday and they advance to the NFC Championship game, that will mark 2 NFC Championship game appearances for Mike Zimmer in the 6 years that he's been head coach for the Minnesota Vikings. If that happens, then fuck it. Give him a full-on contract extension, because as much as I can criticize Mike Zimmer for the different things that he needs to work on and improve on to be a head coach, to be a successful head coach, at the end of the day, bottom line, it's all about the results that you produce, and I can't sit here and shit on Mike Zimmer and talk about how he should be fired when you've been in the conference championship game twice in 6 years as a head coach. I can't do that. So if you get past the Niners, get to the conference championship game, give this man a full-on contract extension. I'm all for it. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments section below this video. The next podcast will be tomorrow, previewing the Vikings-Niners game out in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium. If you're going to I looked up ticket prices for that game just to say, maybe we'll go to this game. Nosebleed, top of the top section row. It's like $250 a piece. Fuck that, bro. I'm not going to that game. And traffic out there in Silicon Valley, good luck. So anyway, we'll preview that video, that game in tomorrow's video. We do this 3 times a week, Mediocre Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy, Facebook at realistic Randy. We'll see you then. Bye.